locked into the sports zone, the chillest spot for real talk and bold takes and no off season. I'm your host, Cordell, aka the Wine Boss, serving up smooth sports insight with a bold finish. This is episode number 5, people. Shout out to that. Episode number 5. We moving right along, people. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today is Sunday, August the 10th. We are about 4 weeks away from the fight of the century between superstar boxer Terrence Bud Crawford, record 41-0 with 31 knockouts, and future Hall of Famer and the face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Record is 63 wins against 2 losses and 2 draws with 39 knockouts. It's plenty of excitement in the air. We can finally start to feel it. We've waited since February for the fight, and the time is vastly approaching. So, with that being said, I had to revisit this topic because it created a whole lot of buzz and it kicked up so much dust on my last release of Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I dropped a video on it and it went crazy. It went nuts. So here we are again today, ready to do it all over again. So before we go all in, I want to take a moment to thank all of the supporters to the Sports Zone and the Wine Boss channel. Don't forget to smash the like button, people. You got to smash it on this one because this is damn sure going to be a good one. It's going to be a banger. And to my new viewers, make sure you subscribe to the Wine Boss channel and follow the Sports Zone to stay up to date with all of our content. So here's the deal. 4 weeks away, and as we get closer to the fight, I'm starting to get an even stronger feeling that Terrence Bud Crawford is going to win this mega fight against Canelo Alvarez. Both fighters will have a massive payday after it's all said and done. However, only one fighter will be victorious after September the 13th. I feel like Terrence Crawford wants this and he needs this victory way more than Canelo Alvarez. And for the respect of how great of a fighter Terrence Crawford really is all time. We're talking about all time greatness, people. We're not talking about right now greatness. Terrence Crawford has proven that. So is Canelo Alvarez, two of the greatest fighters of this era. But Terrence Crawford is competing with history. Terrence Rock, Terrence Crawford wants to be in the likes of comparison to the Sugar Ray Leonards. We know that Sugar Ray Leonard jumped up to fight Marvin Hagler, the mighty Marvin Hagler, and he was able to be victorious. So, knowing that this has happened before, Terrence Crawford is seeing that, and that's what's motivating him. And I feel like this is what really gives him the edge between both of these two future Hall of Fame boxers. Okay, so I want to take a moment and I want to look at a clip here.
It looked like an insurmountable task. The closer the fight gets, you got people that are shifting opinions from Canelo to Terrence Crawford. I was one of them. I got it to 50-50. I thought that this fight wouldn't be competitive. I didn't like it because of the size. Then you watch the William Skull fight. You see that there's still some deficiencies that Canelo's had in the past that he still has currently. And then you see him face off and you see the size difference isn't what you would think from a 68 to a guy that was just at 47 a year or two ago. How are you feeling about that fight currently?
For the record, I'm Puerto Rican, half Dominican, so I'm Latino. So it's for all my people out there who think I just side with the black guy. I seen the comments in the last video that I did, okay? But we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terrence Crawford is a very strong 147 pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147 pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. You only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, we want to break it down fundamentally. Don't get me wrong. Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger, if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes. But we got to be honest here, man. He's not that. It's not like we're fighting Benavidez.
Hey, so just for a little context, to all the people that are hating or that are pro Canelo Alvarez, well, Coach Anthony basically out the gate, wanted everybody to know that he is not giving his opinion because he is of the same skin color as Terrence Crawford. I know a lot of people like to make it be about that. So he stated that, like, no, this has nothing to do with the fact that we share the same skin color. This is something that he feels and he sees. He says what everybody says. Well, Crawford is the smaller fighter at 147, but he said he wasn't your regular 147. So we can't look at him like all the other 147. Now this is a coach. This is a boxing coach. So this is not just me. So don't attack me for saying this. That's why I like to take people that know what they're talking about, and I like to um, formulate my point based upon a legit fact. And he also spoke about Crawford's determination. And I said that earlier that I feel like the fact that he needs this more because of his own personal legacy, that is going to prove to be the edge that I feel that Crawford will take advantage of.
This here, okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off. He can still use his footwork. He can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of these punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terrence Crawford is going to be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake. Okay, it only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well. If Canelo goes in there and overestimates his weight and his size, I've seen bigger.
Right. So to everybody that's saying, "Oh, he's going to get knocked out because he's the quote unquote smaller fighter," don't underestimate the power of Terrence. And that's what I've been saying all along. Like, anybody can get knocked out, and I'm not saying that he's going to knock Canelo out, but anybody can get knocked out if you get hit with a punch that you don't see or respect. So it's all about preparing to get hit, right? So how can you prepare for something that you can't see? So it's not, you know, far fetched that if Canelo came into the fight being overconfident and not respecting that fact, then yes, it could happen. But he made a key point fundamentally, Terrence Crawford has a 4-inch reach advantage. So he doesn't necessarily have to come into the inside to get offense. He can score from the outside. And that's going to allow him to control distance. As I said before in a previous video, being able to control the distance when you got the reach advantage, that enables you to still score points while staying out of danger. That's going to make the fighter with the shorter arms have to, you know, close the distance. And when you have to close distance against a good fighter that can measure you out and time you, you got to be careful. So all this, oh, he's going to get knocked out. Well, he has to get in range, and if he can continue to control the distance like he's done, I mean Crawford, he doesn't know how to lose. He hasn't lost. So we say this like, oh, he's going to lose. Like, well, if you never lost, then how do you lose? I mean, he's a big underdog, so he's an underdog, but he has never lost. So that's interesting.
Bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to that. Canelo's also lost before. He knows how to lose. Okay. Crawford doesn't know how to lose. Okay. So there's just certain things there where I would no way, shape, or form underestimate a guy like Terrence Crawford. He can also switch. So for me, man, 50-50 is a great analysis on your behalf. I think 50-50 is the way to go. I'm leaning toward Terrence Crawford in this situation because I think he wants it more. I think that he's willing to go a little bit further than Canelo's willing to go once they get into that ring. So we're going to go ahead and see.
Okay, so just a little bit from Coach Anthony. Shout out to YSM Sports Media for that clip. Very, very valuable clip. But he did make a key point. Fundamentally, Crawford can switch up and switch styles in the middle of the fight. Um, like I say, he has a bigger bag of tricks, a deeper bag, and more skills. And it's no disrespect to Canelo. Canelo is a Hall of Fame fighter, probably the best Mexican fighter ever that we've seen. But we have to give credit where credit is due, and we can't take away from Crawford's greatness, like Canelo was trying to do by saying that he hasn't beaten anybody. Well, all that does to me is really proves why Crawford really needs this. Because when you got two great competitors going at something, a prize, it comes down sometimes to who wants it more. So to say that you have never beaten nobody, what does that do? I mean, you could be the first person that I beat. You just making me want to beat you that much more. So I don't think that's really valid. The way that Canelo, talks down on Crawford when it comes to that. Terrence Crawford is a special fighter, hands down. He has the physical attributes. He has the ring generalship. He's not the most powerful fighter in this fight. True. He's not the most strongest fighter in this fight. That is also true. But he has the most in his tool bag, as I stated, by far. I feel that he moves better. I feel that he controls the distance better. His jabs will be the most effective because of his elongated 4-inch reach advantage in this fight. That's insane. Like nobody's talking about that. Nobody is saying that. Wow, that's a heck of it. That's a hell of an advantage. Being able to have 4 inches of reach. That's a lot. So if you combine all these things with having the most desire to win a fight such as this for your legacy, to me that gives Terrence Crawford the intangible advantage as well. It's almost to me as if Canelo has to knock out Crawford to win because I think that everything else checks the box of Terrence Crawford. And it's almost as if like the only, I guess if you want to say that Canelo has the advantage of power, that's the only thing that to me he got to rely on. He has to go in there and knock Crawford out because as the fight goes on, I can't imagine him still uh, being relying on trying to knock somebody out if Crawford is still scoring points every round and outpointing them. So it's going to come down to that. So if that's really the case, why is Crawford such a big underdog? Oh, because he's a smaller fighter. That's what they say. So I feel myself that if Canelo don't knock him out, then Crawford wins because he's not going to be able to outwork him. He's not going to be able to handle the movement. He's not going to have to move with. He's not going to want to have to move with him late. So he has to knock him out. So, and I feel like at this point in Canelo's career, he's. I mean, what does he has to prove? I mean, he's pretty much, you know, solidified. He's a legend. So, and the Crawford team actually, the reason why they pointed out Canelo was because they wanted to take advantage of some of the things that Canelo struggles with. He struggles with southpaw opponents, you know, uh, specifically John Ryder, where John Ryder really, really put a lot of heat on him. Does Ryder have the skills of Crawford? Hell no. Sometimes he struggles with conditioning and stamina. I don't think he's going to have more stamina than Terrence Crawford. In fact, I know that. Mobility. He wants you to stand right in front of him. That's why he said he don't like fighting fighters that move. And his counterpunching ability to me is a little bit overstated. I think that if you make him impatient, then he's going to force his power shots in, but that sets you up to be countered. And you don't want to do that with a guy that punches as precise as Terrence Crawford. I mean, you don't want to just open up many opportunities for him to take advantage of you in that position. So I want to send a quick shout out to Wild Child. Wild Child chimed in and he basically said that, and I take comments from all of my followers on all of my podcasts. So this is just another one. Wild Child 89. Crawford has to prove that he can take Canelo's power. I'm not sure if he can, but if he can, what else can Canelo do? Right. That's the point. And I think that's what everybody really needs to see because everybody seems to feel like that he can't take the power of a bigger fighter. But what if he can? Now what? So we have a whole different conversation. So I gotta agree with you, Wild Child, on that. So as I stated before, here's the bottom line. I'm leaning towards Terrence Crawford in this mega fight of the century. Great fighters like Canelo and Crawford, but one of them really needs this fight more than the other one. One guy's legacy is cemented, while the other guy is constantly being picked at for not beating enough credible boxers. So I feel like that gives Terrence the advantage because he needs it. When you hungry and you ain't ate and somebody is eating, they not gonna they're not gonna fight harder than the person that hasn't ate. It's just not gonna happen. It's easy to see why you actually look at both fighters on tape. When you actually look at both fighters on tape, one fights the same way, while the other one gives you adaptability by being able to do whatever is necessary to win. Whether it's switching his stance from right to left, or slugging it out in the pocket, or just boxing. Crawford has it all in his tool bag. And quite frankly, if he can prove that he can withstand the storm from Canelo early, there's no way Canelo will outwork him late. I just don't see it, bros. I just don't see it. So that's it for today's episode 5 of the Sports Zone. If you like what you heard, And if you like what you see, do the thing, people. Do the thing. Subscribe, follow, and share with your people. Share with your friends. You can catch me at Wine Boss 1978 for more takes behind the scenes and all the action. So until the next time, stay bold, stay loyal, and stay true.